Good morning. Good to see you all. Um, it's funny that we're talking about this month because the issue of walking your talk has been in my face a lot lately. But never mind that. I want to create a context for this conversation because, as I said earlier, we're creating here together a quiet place inside this busy, crazy world we're living in. And these days, every single day, something new is hitting us that's shocking and upsetting for many people. And I stay away from the news. I mean, it's not that I don't understand, don't capture what's going on, but I stay away from it because a lot of it's upsetting to me. But then I've heard from many different people who are doing talks these days, including a great friend of mine, Amba Gale, and another one, Lynn Twist. Many of you have heard of Lynn Twist, who's done the Soul of Money and living a committed life. And she's a global fundraiser, et cetera. Well, another person that I met years ago, Buckminster Fuller, you may have heard of. Mm-hmm. He's an inventor and an architect and a writer and a philosopher and a futurist. He said that around now, this was in 76, he said in about the next 50 years, I'm going to just read he said. Bucky said this civilization was getting ready for a new paradigm, from a paradigm he called a you or me world, one based on scarcity, competition, and threat, to a you and me world, one based on partnership, inclusion, enoughness. He said it would take about 50 years to accomplish this shift, and that before we did, the world would have to move into chaos before it could emerge from its darkness. And Lynn Twist says we're in that birthing process. So I know whether you've had a child or not personally, you know that the process of giving birth is not a comfortable nor easy one. It's wrought with complications and challenges, and that's what we're facing now. So I offer that to you as a context to hold all of the stuff we're going through right now. Because I know for myself, it makes a big difference that I stand there and hold what's going on in the world, particularly in the White House. I hold that as the bowl in which all of this is occurring, because otherwise I'm going nuts.
Right.
So then there's life today at that level, which most of us are not directly involved in. I mean, it's not that I haven't done walks, I haven't done talks, I haven't sent postcards, I've done letters, I've made phone calls, everything that you can do from where I am in my life. Those are the actions that any of us, and probably already have, taken here in our personal lives. And then there's that other aspect that's often unseen that contributes to the birthing process, and that is the engagement with spirit. So each of us has the opportunity to midwife this birth. And we do that through our own personal way of living in life, the way that I'm going to say the way that we think, but I want to put an asterisk by that because, the science of mind is all about change your thinking, change your life. Okay, that's fine, except that there are those times where each one of us think anything but pleasant thoughts. I mean, I know I do when I see some of the things on the news, which is why I don't watch it too much, because my mind just gets going with very unpleasant things.
Yeah.
Right. Lots of those. And because I'm committed to not dwelling in that, that's why I don't stick with the news. It's bad enough a headline. I don't need to read the whole thing. So I want to allow that we are human, and we do have this chatter in our heads. And often that chatter leads us to further thinking and further conversation, and therefore actions that don't serve anybody. And particularly when we're upset, particularly when something doesn't go right, Our mind is full of negative chatter about ourselves and about others and who wronged me and they did this and they did. And trust me, with regard to what's going on in the White House, I have plenty, my mind has plenty to think and say about that. That's of no value to me or someone else. So it's important that we notice it when it happens, because are we cold? I guess so. Thanks, Randall. So when those things happen, we do have an opportunity to notice that we're there. One of the things I hear often these days, and it's part of a process, but you hear somebody says something and somebody else says, it's time you respected me. Except when they're saying that, they're not respecting the other person nor themselves, because they're dumping their anger on the other person. Now, I understand it's part of the process. If you've never felt respected, you're finally speaking up, et cetera. So, we can allow that. But we do things like domestic violence. Oh, I love you. And then he hits her again. We do things like that. I care for you, but then I won't open the door for you. Or I'm not prejudiced. And then I say something to my friend about the Black person or the Asian person or something. That's pejorative. So it's useful for us to pause, especially when we're upset or feel disrespected or whatever it is that's going on, or angry about whatever. We pause before we let it out. Oh, if you're by yourself, listen, when I'm in the car sometimes and people do some things, a lot of that's in my head comes right out of my mouth. You so-and-so. What the heck are you doing? That kind of stuff. But I'm by myself. So I'm not taking it out on anybody but me. And, I'm used to me. So I forgive me. That's the other thing, is we often we say we're forgiving, but then we hold on to a grudge with somebody, but we have a really good reason. So it's useful to stop and pause before we say something to another person. Here's another time to pause. When you find yourself beating yourself up internally, you're having a conversation, you're all by yourself. You're having a conversation about, I should have done this better, or nobody loves me. Anything that's negative against yourself, notice it. Please notice it. Please notice it. Stop and notice that you have a choice in that moment. And I encourage you to shift. It's okay that I did that. I'm enough. I'm enough for right this moment. And for today, I'm enough. However you shift it for yourself. When you do, you are shifting it back to being in sync with spirit. And I know all of you here, but you wouldn't be here if this wasn't the case, are in your hearts. That's what you're committed to. That's what you want to demonstrate in the world. But it does take awareness, and it does take a different action. So it's important now, with our world being as crazy as it is, that each of us bring that forth in our day-to-day conversation. So if you see, it's one thing to come here. It's easy to come here, feel good. Yes, I'm with spirit. Everything's cool. And then you go outside and you have a flat tire, or somebody cuts you off, or your neighbor yells at you. It's real easy then to forget all of this. But we have the capacity to be awake and aware. We have the capacity to choose in every moment, to see what's in front of us and stop. You don't have to jump into an argument. You can stop. You can pause. You can let it be. And then see if there's anything for you to say. Yesterday, my husband was really upset with me because I didn't have my ringer on my phone. And boy, I'm telling you, his face was red, his eyes were popping out, and he was really angry. And I just let him say it. I mean, he was in that place where it just got to him. And he knew he was talking to me. He wasn't out talking to somebody else and disrupting life on the planet. He was talking to me, and he knew that he could express himself, and I would listen. So I did. And, I said, yeah. And he was fine. He said what he had to say, and then he was fine after that. And life went on. So he has a safe place with me where he can express that. And I have that same kind of safe space with him. And if that's you, if that's something that you want to bring into life, then it takes work to get yourself to be that safe space and not react when people say and do things. So that's what values are you walking? What aspect are you of spirit are you demonstrating? It's your choice. What's in your heart? And when, if you say, I'm going to demonstrate love well, then you have to see what that means to you in every moment. It might be open the door for somebody, or it might be not say something when you think you just have to say it. Just try it. See what expressing that would mean for you and what's important for you to express. Like forgiveness is a big one. That's useful. Forgiveness it always looks like it's for the other person. Seems like it's all about them, but it really isn't. It's really only about you. It's giving you the space to be welcoming and free of the angst that comes with whatever the issue is about the other person or circumstance. So you're free. You are free of it. You're free for you. And forgiving oneself is an important piece. So it's one thing to hear somebody like me or anyone talk about forgiveness. It's another thing to live from it. And that's your choice so that you can bring that into life. That's the whole point, because each one of us has our own kind of little universe that we operate in. We have our own people that we see, our own friends. And we tend to have routines in life, like, we go to the same stores, we shop, we go to Costco every other week or so, that kind of stuff. So we're with those strangers, but the question is, how are you being when you're with them? You have your universe. How are you being? What are you bringing? I'm not saying you're not bringing wonderful gifts of spirit already, but this is an opportunity to stop and choose and be aware of what you're doing. And it's so easy when life is going fine. It's easy to think about it when you're sitting here. It's easy when you go out there and life's zooming along. But when you don't get the part that you want, or you don't get the job that you want, or things just don't unfold, you thought you were going to have some check come in and it doesn't come in, or you thought that I just today have 2 plans to go away to visit friends over upcoming weekends already in the calendar, and both of them today, text and email, need to change. Can't do it the week. And, we how it is. You get it all planned. You get your life all planned around it. And one of them was this coming weekend. And all of a sudden, everything changed. I mean, I understand it. Not a problem. We'll go with the flow. But, and Paul in particular was looking forward to a getaway. And so we'll have to plan something else for this weekend. But those things happen. That's how life goes. All of a sudden, it's just not the way you thought it was going to be, and throws a wrench into things. And then the question is, how are you going to be about it? That's everything, though. It's everything. How are you going to be about that? How am I going to be about that? And how you are about it. Now, notice if you're just like, something happens and you have this, I'm never going to forgive them. That's useful to notice. And just notice it. And let yourself be there. Don't do anything from there. I recommend you don't say anything. And I recommend you don't take any action from there. I recommend that you notice that you're just not going to forgive them. Those SOBs, they did this and it's unforgivable. Truth is, nothing's unforgivable. So then you can do work with yourself and see. Maybe you can bring it up to, well, I'm willing to forgive them, or I might be willing to be willing. Or if you say consciously to yourself, no, I'm not going to. That's good. You've gotten it to the conscious level of, you're not going to forgive them. And you've said that to yourself. Okay, let yourself have that way. Don't have conversation or action from there. Just let it be. And I worked with a gentleman years ago who was like that about a business partner, and he was just adamant he would never forgive this guy. And I said, okay, we got it up to the level of clarity. No, I'm not now forgiving him, and I never will. Well, within the next month, by golly, all on his own, he had forgiven him, and they were doing some work together. So it's useful to get conscious. See, it's one thing to do that unconsciously and just roam through your life unforgiving. I'm just using forgiveness as an example. It's another thing to be conscious of it and to choose the not forgiveness, to be aware that you are consciously choosing that. It's very different because you are alert, alive, and aware when you do that. And that brings spirit into it. See, when you're aware, you're bringing that aspect of spirit. All spirit is that aliveness. All spirit is love. Well, you know what spirit is: joy and creativity and abundance and freedom and peace and love. That's spirit. The minute you're awake and aware, you're bringing spirit to it. And that's what we can contribute to our world today, bringing that to the people around us, not more of the same. We don't have to have what's in the White House trickle down to us. We can thwart it, and we can bring love and joy and peace. And I was thinking the other day, this is so bad. Why should I bother anything? Why should I bother? Why should I bother? I'm looking at a new endeavor. Why should I bother getting into that? Why should I bother being nice? Why should I bother? It all sucks. We're going to hell in a handbasket, as they say. But then I realized, wait a minute here. Wait just a minute. I am in my world. I have my world to impact, my family, my friends, etc. I'm not giving up on that. I'm going to do what I can do. I mean, I can take the actions, political actions as well. But leaving all that aside, just in terms of how I interact with people, being a safe place for them, forgiving them, loving them, creating abundance with them, creating safety for them, being at peace, being compassionate with them, operating as you and me. Many of you already do that. It's, in your lives, you and me is already the world you live in personally. Well, that can be expanded however you do that, and just keep including people so there's never a question for you. Am I walking my talk? If love is my game, well then listen, it's not that you won't make a mistake. Of course you will. You're human. That'll happen. But yes, you can walk with love in your heart and express it however you do it throughout the day and with whomever. But it's your choice. And we can help birth this new paradigm into being. Imagine the day when we live, you and me, where we're here for one another. And when we say that, we mean it. We don't say we're here for you and then take away your Social Security. You know what I mean? I'm here for you, and now the prices on your groceries go up. They don't quite go together. But they can go, but what we say and what we do can go together in our world. And not only do we feel in sync with ourselves and in touch with spirit, but we're a model for others. People know that. Like, one of the things people have said to me over and over again that they can count on is I'm on time. I just happen to be one of those people that's on time. And I have a friend who had to work at it. I mean, really had to work at it. I mean, she didn't ever get on time till she was past 60. And I've known her for a number of years and dealt with a lot of the not being on time. And now she's 80 and she's on time. Yay. That's so nice. But that was not my problem. But that's what they just know that about me. I'll be there on time. If I'm not going to be there because of traffic or whatever, I'll call and let you know. But I'm on time. And that makes it easy for people to relax because they know I'll be there. Yeah. Now, I'm not making myself anything special about this. I'm just saying that's the impact that your behavior has on another. Yeah. So if you're always loving or always forgiving, and people know that about you, they can count on that and they love that. And then they learn how to do that themselves. That's a good trickle down phenomenon. I invite you to that one. Because you have an impact. See, whether you realize it or not, you are making a difference at every moment. Let's make the difference you choose to make. Not everybody says, wow, that really made a difference that you said that or you did that. No, they don't necessarily tell you. Nice when they do. But they don't necessarily tell you, but you are having an impact. So you have the choice of having your walk match with the talk that's important to you. Have spirit come from you directly to them. Why? Because you say so. It's your choice. And that way you can impact our world and help birth this new paradigm. So we're all in this together, whether we like it or not. We can either pull in the same direction or opposite directions, but I invite all of you to pull in the direction of spirit. Let spirit be your guide, no matter what's happening around us. Even if the prices go, I just bought avocados at Costco. It used to be $5.99. They're now $10.99. Oh my. Oh, so what did they do? Instead of putting 5 in the bag, they put 6 in the bag. Whoopee. But, I can bitch and moan and complain about it, or I can just be thankful that I have the money to buy the avocados and just keep moving forward with love, I'm going to say with love and compassion and joy, and express that, or whatever is important to you that you express. Anything like that is an expression of spirit, and you are spirit personified. So appreciate that about yourself and let it all out. Let us pray. Dear Spirit, Divine Mother, thank you for this opportunity. It's not like we love the challenges we're facing, but we know we are up to the task. We know you did not send this to us. This is not occurring because we cannot handle it. This is occurring because we are the midwives of this new age, of this new way of living. We are the ones. Because how do we know? Because we are here. We are the ones having the conversation. We are the ones dealing with the challenges, and we are blessed to do so. We honor you. We thank you. We appreciate you for this challenging gift you've given us. And we love and appreciate the honor of being the ones to midwife this new era into being. We are your blessed soldiers in the kindest of ways. We are grateful. We are so thankful. Oh, could not be more pleased. Amen. Blessed be, and so it is.
Yeah.